enlarging my conversation. The importance of forming bonds through arguments rather than pushing someone away is such that it can seriously affect the quality of a relationship. Certain aspects of personalities need to be initially evaluated to first realize the problem before it can be fixed. So basically, you can't fix something if you don't know there's an issue. My overarching goal is to become more prepared for the inevitable conflict that I'm going to unavoidably encounter throughout my personal relationships, mostly my marriage. We have a pretty healthy relationship, but there's obvious things. I mean, everybody can work on something, and there's things that we specifically need to work on. And what I would like to work on is my conflict issues. I tend to avoid it if I can. So, resolving issues that will help me enlarge my conversation is to avoid the 7 magic rules of damaging your relationship of any discussion. And these come from Stewart's book, and these are to bring up matters when someone, at least one person, is angry, which I think most of us tend to do, and I know I definitely tend to do it. If I'm angry about something, that is pretty much when I'm going to bring it up. So I be prepared as possible when setting forth the problem, or be personal as possible. And I definitely tend to get personal. So I think most of these 7 rules I tend to do, and I need to make sure that I kind of get these under my belt, and so that I can try to avoid them, um, especially bringing up matters when I'm angry, because I think I tend to do that one more than any. Um, I also correct things that my partner would say about me, and that's just one of the 7 magic rules to avoid as well. I also need to realize the main purpose of an argument, and that main purpose typically is, I think typically it's to get my way, but really I think we need to focus or refocus the purpose into resolving it so that both parties are happy and not just one person. And the process of it is going to be the product. So if if you go through the process the right way, your outcome is going to be much better. Next slide. My background, I came from a broken home. There's definitely a history of domestic violence in my house. I remember police being called, seemed like every weekend for a while there. I am a typical middle child. My views tended to be overlooked. Things that I did didn't seem to be as important as my older and younger siblings. I am the oldest girl in the family, but other than that, it just didn't seem to be as important as my siblings. Positives to that is that I have taken the opposite approach to my parenting style, and I have more of an appreciation towards my life, the way my life has turned out, just because it is so different than the way I grew up. I have gotten positive and negative experiences, and I think to be able to enjoy your positive experiences is definitely important to have some negative experiences. Um, and it has given me a wiser outlook on life, basically. I mean, I can definitely know a lot more about different effects and things that negativity can bring to a family, and especially violent, which is this is, and the negatives is something that I really need to focus on, because it has led me to be a little distrustful of people. I overthink things just because I want to make sure that I'm not going to do something wrong, or whatever the case may be. And I did have a lack of positive examples in my life. I actually didn't even know that a marriage could last as long as ours has. I've been married almost 20 years. My parents were probably married about 6. So it's definitely, I have a much different life. Next slide. My behavioral blend from the Uniquely You test that we did in the beginning semester is evident in my interactions from day to day. I'm pretty contemplative. I'm pretty interactive. I'm steady. It's good and bad, because when I'm in an argument, I do tend to be insightful, but I think I take advantage of my knowledge on how to get under someone's skin, and they definitely take advantage of that. So, next slide. The barriers in my ability to effectively bond in arguments, as I do bring up the past, and I think that's something that I learned to do growing up. I can be very defensive. I don't like to take the blame, and I don't like to open my eyes even when I did something wrong. Um, I know in my head if I'm wrong, but I don't like it to be pointed out, and that may stem from the way I was brought up. That I took the blame a lot, and I didn't I didn't have much positive reinforcement. So I aim to make my blows count. That is something that I definitely need to work on. Don't I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't start out in an argument or a conversation to make anyone feel bad. Um, but I think it just kind of escalates sometimes, and that's when it happens. So, and I focus on my own feelings being heard when an argument. I think a lot of this starts out because most of our conflicts start when I'm angry, or when someone else is angry, but that has a lot to do with it. So, next slide. Noise pollution. Only hearing what you want to hear is some of the internal noise. I only hear what I want. So if my partner, my husband, is telling me um, positive and negative things, I typically only focus on the negative, and which is a biased and emotional listening as well. So I need to open up myself to listen to the entire side of his entire side of the story, and not just picking out the things that I want to focus on. My external noise pollution is outside distractions, multitasking, causes annoyance. There's a lot of outside distractions, and I think that we would be much better off if we try to resolve our conflict when we don't have any of those distractions, with the TV off, the computer off, I mean, the kids are in bed, things like that. So we're not doing anything else at the same time. Next slide. Solutions, internal solutions could be patience. I need to exercise my patience and not think about the past and not bring up the past. It seems like it would be a no-brainer and easy to do, but those things are kind of difficult when you're in the moment. Keep a positive mindset, and this goes back to hearing the entire side of the story, not just picking out, things that I want to focus on, and especially the negative parts. External focus, like I said, we turn off the TV, turn off the computers, make sure we don't have any distractions going on. We can close the door and just, per se, hash things out, but get everybody's ideas, get both our ideas heard, and make sure that everything is clear. We can clarify, and anything that is misunderstood or misinterpreted, that we could make sure that those things are straightened out. Next. My my communication blueprint. Think about the feelings of others when having an argument. Aim to bond, not hurt the person I'm having a conflict with. Leave the past in the past. Listen and clarify to understand. And reflect on my behavior during a conflict. I think reflecting on your behavior during a conflict is going to be one of the hardest things to do, because it's when you're in the moment and you're angry or you're upset, it's very hard to just take a step back and think about what you're going to do wrong, and make sure that you don't overstep your boundaries and hurt somebody's feelings, because once feelings are hurt, then you're not going to be able to have a positive outcome from there. So if we can think about making sure I don't hurt anybody else's feelings when I'm trying to get my point across, and just come in a non-accusatory manner, I think would definitely go a long way in helping uh, resolve a lot of our conflict. So in conclusion, I can be insightful, I can be empathetic, and I'm quick to cause conflict because of my distrustfulness, but it is definitely something that I'm going to work on. Like I said, we have for the most part, we have a very healthy relationship, and we really don't have a lot of conflict. It's just, and I think it is because I tend to try to avoid it. And in avoiding conflict, I think there could be a lot of maybe pent up, not really anger, but feelings of not neglect, but it's really hard to put my feelings into words, but it's just I think if I could bring up a lot more of the issues that we have out in the open without being scared of an escalating conflict, like when I was growing up, there was no such thing as a calm conversation when people didn't disagree. And still, if I'm at my mother's, there's no such thing as a just a normal conversation. So this class and this project has definitely forced me to open my eyes and realize that little problems in the communication are not very little. They I prevented myself from forming closer bonds because of them, and at least I have a starting point so I can fix these issues and become a more effective communicator. And I think that's definitely going to help my relationship with my husband and my family members as well. Thank you.